Hope you're having an amazing day today. Today, we are going to dive into an amazing story of Starah Dixon and her amazing brand she has created called Mitsooz. We're going to learn a little bit more about herself, as well as why she created it, and really can hone in on what amazing pieces that this brand offers. So, with that being said, my name is Tysheda. I am the founder of Luxury Travels by Dreamy Designer Events, where we curate elite travel worldwide as well as facilitate retreats to rediscover, reconnect, and reset your life. Star and I has created an amazing brand called Authentic Ambitions, inspiring brands and bold leaders, where entrepreneurs, business professionals, and anyone that's seeking to be able to express themselves and do something they're passionate about can come together and have an amazing community to support as well as elevate each other. And on that note, we're going to go right over to Star so she can definitely tell us about her story and this amazing brand called Mitsooz.
Thanks, Sai. Hey there, I'm Starah Dixon. I'm the founder of Mitsooz. So today I want to share a little bit about my journey, which is how Mitsooz came to be and why this brand is about so much more than just home decor. It's about creating a space that speaks before you even have to say a word. I've always believed that a well-designed home isn't just beautiful, it tells a story. It reflects who you are, what you love, and how you see the world. But here's the thing, creating a home like that doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's about choosing pieces that feel right, that mean something, that naturally fit together over time. Even as a kid, I dreamed of having a home that felt like a museum. Not in the sense of being untouchable, but in a way that made people pause, admire, and want to know more. A space where every detail had a place and a purpose. That instinct never left me, but I didn't fully understand the power of intentional design until my husband and I packed up our life in Georgia and moved to Tulsa. A new city, a fresh start. And yet, our home came together in just a few days, 2 or 3 to be exact. Our friends and families were definitely shocked by that. This was done not because I rushed, but because I wasn't starting from scratch. Everything we bought with us had already had its meaning. It was just about finding a place in a new chapter. So, for example, a console table that once sat in our entryway now grounded our living room. A small kitchen accent became a statement piece in our bedroom. That's the beauty of intentional design. When it's done right, it moves with you, evolves with you, and still holds its significance. And that's when it also hit me. Our home wasn't just for us. We love hosting, and every time we do, we see it happen again and again. The pause, the curiosity, the quiet fascination as guests take in different pieces, asking where they came from, what the story is, how'd I find it? Or, well, because I'm usually the one finding the pieces. And I love that because that's what great design does. It sparks conversation, invites interpretation, and stays with people long after the night is over. That's why I created Mitsooz. Mitsooz is for the hosts and the tastemakers, the one who don't just decorate, but curate. The ones who believe a home should feel collected, not cluttered. That every piece should have purpose, presence, and personality. And if there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's this. You don't have to rush. I know, like, for someone selling decor, like, to say that is a little counterproductive, like, initially, but you really don't have to rush. Building a home that truly feels like you takes time. Through intentional home decor and entertainment wear, you can start building a collection that reflects who you are until one day you look around and you realize that your space doesn't just look good, it feels right. Most of what you'll find at Mitsooz is handmade, crafted by artisans who pour their expertise and passions into every piece. Because art isn't just about something you hang on a wall. It's in a sculpted candle, a beautiful weighted tray, a hand-thrown water pitcher. It's in the details. The ones most people overlook, but those with an eye for design always notice. So whether you're just starting to build a collection or refining a space that already tells your story, Mitsooz is here for you. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about decorating. It's about defining a home that speaks for you. And for those of you who understand the difference, welcome. You're in the right place. Now, before I get too comfortable, I know Ty has some questions for me, which I might be a little nervous about, but let's do it anyway.
Well, thank you. That was amazing and definitely truly inspiring. So, of course, obviously, I have questions. So, what inspired you to create Mitsooz, and what gap in the market were you passionate about filling?
Definitely the initial start of like my passion for Mitsooz was just understanding that your home really does say so much about you and also is the first place that you go to for comfort, or the first place you should go to for comfort. So I really truly believe in like energies really have something to say. And so it's kind of makes sense that like the pieces that you have would be there to inspire you like throughout your journey. I would say that the gap that I am filling is that crossbreed between craftsmanship, quality, artistry, and timeless design. Because one thing that I love to do is collect art pieces. I don't know if you could tell from the back, but I love to like collect art pieces, but I also understand that they are very pricey. So I didn't want to do a business where I'm just like catering back to the idea and the notion of just like luxury. It's not easy for you to grab and you really have to save so much for it. I really wanted to go into attainable luxury. So for example, having like pieces that aren't necessarily always on the wall, but like they really do say something about you, your family, and the journey that you guys have been on. Or like having, for example, a vase or even just like a trinket box where you're kind of like, oh, this is actually elegant. This is pretty classy. And it's not something that I can find in just every other store. Like, which is again going back to like the artistry part of it. I really wanted to make sure that like the pieces can withstand the test of time and also play very well along with more trendy pieces. So you're not losing out on anything. You're just more so building and curating what is true to you.
I love that. That's actually pretty amazing. So my other question is your brand is all about creating spaces that feel like sanctuaries. What does home mean to you and how has that shaped your approach to design?
Yeah, home honestly is everything. And I feel like a lot of the people that can also best connect with it are like the people who I'm well, which is pretty much the world. So everyone who went through the pandemic. And I say that because like that was the one time where universally everyone just had to stay home and everyone had to sit still. And it's kind of one of those things where, like, as you're going on through time, you're kind of like looking around and you're kind of like, is this me or is this just like cute? You know what I mean? And so for me, it's kind of like having intentional design just always grounds you back, brings you back to your roots. Where, for example, for me and my family, we enjoy like nature and we have a lot of like nature inspired pieces. So for the days where I'm like locking myself doing business or, you know, like having a crazy day, I can always look to like something inside of the house for just like inspiration and just to calm me back down since I cannot go outside to do it. So for me, just yeah, like the home is just like everything. It is the sanctuary. It's where your loved ones are. It's where like memories are created. It's where you can best like amplify and express yourself. Like, and that's really one of the other keys that I wanted to harp on, which is just it's a way for you to truly express who you are versus what the world wants you to be.
Yes, that is exactly correct in so many ways.
Yeah.
My other question I have is what has been the most rewarding and most challenging parts of building Mitsooz, and how has those moments shaped you as a founder?
Oh, rewarding, honestly, is just being able to bring my idea into fruition. And we talk about it often, where it's kind of like before you go into like building out your brand, you get so locked into your head and you get into, can I do it? Can I not? Like, what is needed? All of that stuff. When really, like, the only thing that you need to do is start. So, and then just learn along the way. So I would say one of the most rewarding is that, and also learning as you build out communities, because I have been in the entrepreneur space overall for 10 years with like previous companies. But I would say that, like, for me, it's kind of like every new time that you're building something out, it's kind of like, whoa, like there's something else for me to learn. And also, like, when you start networking and connecting with other founders, you realize that we're all just basically making it work, you know? And you're all just learning from each other and you're all just like going through this journey together. I would say that I would say like my pit of entrepreneurism is you really have to be everything. So you have to be the content creator, you have to be the salesperson, you have to be the marketer, you have to also be the administrator, you have to be pretty much like everything like all at once. And of course, as you build out your brand, it becomes very essential that you learn how to actually delegate tasks. But like initially, like it really is just like, oh man, this is overwhelming. But in the positive light, though, I would say you start to also learn about like what can go wrong so that you can create like your, which is a standard operating workbook, basically, like so that you can help mitigate like a lot of the fires that like come about whenever it comes to like building out a business. So for example, handling client complaints. Now, handling it once while your business is small, you now know how to move forward as you grow. So yeah, I would say those are my peaks and pits.
Yes, definitely, especially too with the part of learning and growing because as an
Hmm.
entrepreneur, you're always doing that. So every step of the
It never
road,
ends.
every step of the road, you're learning, you're growing, but also it's only bettering yourself and also bettering your
Yeah.
company. So that's the key.
And also, I just wanted to also add in on that too, like, which is one of the best things has been, and I'm not sure if I said it on this one, but like definitely like other stuff, but is the support system. So basically having like people around you who push you to do things and to push you to go outside of your comfort zone, not just because they just want to see you like scared and nervous or anything like that, but because they also believe inside of your vision and what you're trying to build out and things like that. So that's also
Yes.
extremely important.
Yes, 100% to that. So my last question for you is if you could go back in time and give yourself some advice to help start your journey or also for someone else to start their journey, what advice would you give them?
I would say don't be in your head. That is probably, yeah, I would say that that would be like the number one thing I would say is do not get in your head, whether it is starting out your business, overthinking about how to go about that, and like overthinking about which resources and tools like you have to go through. For example, you can really start a business without actually like paying for services like database, you could use Excel, like scheduler, you could use Calendly, things like that. But also just really getting outside of yourself in terms of like the fear, because one of the first things that you normally are scared of is how is this going to be received? Is my message clear enough? Like, will I look like a fool, like sharing like my stories and things like that? But it's like you just have to like block out those negative thoughts and understand that if you're scared, like if you have a little bit of fear because you're doing something to elevate yourself, that's actually a great fear to have.
Yes, 100%. Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate you.
That
Those
is like,
questions.
and again, that goes back to actually like what we were saying, which is like jumping outside of yourself, like doing things, not being in your head. So there we go.
So I think you also have some pieces that you wanted to show us.
I sure did. So some of the ones that are both bestsellers and I've also found really do like hone in on like conversation pieces for people are, for example, oh wait, I have a few things in here because I really do use these. But for example, my gold leaf water pitcher. This one is handmade in India. There we go.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful little pieces. And one of the things that I love too is that you can actually see that it was handmade because of the etchings and things like that. I love pieces like that. Like I said, art, my go-to. This one is also handmade and it's a gold leaf water pitcher. And if you can see the details, again, voila. I'm like trying to see as I.
So
So this
pretty.
one you can definitely place on like different tables, stands, and anytime that you're going to, again, host any events, parties, things like that. And then last but not least, I'm definitely not opening this one because everything is going to fall out, but is our marble elegance box with gold edge. So, just adding a little classy touch to the trinkets that you want to like throw in, especially when it comes to like people coming over. If you, you know how like you usually like try and fine tune the little things to make sure that the house is beautiful, crisp, and perfect, just throw them around, like throwing them in there. Nobody has to know. And if they go inside of it, yeah, they shouldn't, is what I'm saying. But yeah,
Yeah.
those would be like the three really main pieces that, at least for me and a good amount of our customers, like really these pieces resonate with.
I love them. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for telling your story. And it was definitely amazing to get more of a deeper dive into Mitsooz and a little bit more from personal touch from you.
Yeah. And thank you. And of course, everyone knows to find us also together in Authentic Ambitions as well, but also to find you from Luxury Travels by Dreamy Designer Events. So yeah,
And
we're
thank
just
you.
making this whole like positivity just go around. Like
There you
that's
go.
pretty much it.
Listen, amazing. Well, everyone have an amazing day and stay well. Bye.